Pebbles, what you doing? Hey, Pebbles. Good girl. Good girl. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Cozy Hermitage Craft Cottage. My name is John. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you all had a good week. Looking forward to the weekend. It's been fairly busy here with my wife being off in Turkey. That was quite the story. If you're interested, if you're not interested, just skip forward a little bit. But she was trying to check in. Her and my daughter-in-law were trying to check in, and on Monday, because they're supposed to be able to, and they couldn't. It kept giving them error messages on their website and stuff. So she had bought her tickets through Orbitz, and I don't understand all that stuff, but before they had canceled her original flight and put them on a different flight. Well, somehow that didn't get swapped over in the system, and so they had the wrong number. And I finally called Turkish Airlines, and the fellow that I got in line couldn't fix it. And so he said he sent an email to the help desk and to see if they could fix it, and to try back in an hour or two. And if that didn't work, they'd have to come in early on Tuesday, like 3 hours before their flight, to get it straightened out. Well, they were already going to have to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. And I said, you need to leave Monday. You need to leave. All that happened on Monday. I said, you got to leave tonight. And so they got everything ready and got my son here, and he drove them off to the airport, or they drove them over to SeaTac, and they spent the night in the hotel and got there in the morning. And of course, other people were having the same problem. So there was a line. And so they got all that straightened out, and they went to their gate and waited. I can't remember how long they waited, an hour or two. And then it said that the flight wasn't going to leave until, I think, 1:30. 1:30 came and left. So it wasn't going to leave at 3:30. But they got everybody on the plane, and they all had their seats, and my wife and my daughter-in-law were happy with their seats. And then, for some reason, they got everybody off the plane, and they all had to wait in a line because that flight got canceled because there was something wrong with the plane, from what I understand. So then they had to wait in line, and they were toward the back, and by the time they got up to the front, and it was a long line, they weren't sitting next to each other anymore. They were in separate parts of the plane. That didn't make them too happy. And daughter-in-law, who's kind of doesn't like people all around her, wound up in the middle aisle, in the middle seat between two people. And my wife wound up next to the window, which I think she liked, and then seated next to two people from our side of the state. So that was kind of nice. I think she had a better ride than Amanda did. um, and that kind of got delayed a few. They didn't leave until 6, so they were there a long time. They finally took off, and they had missed their flight. So when they got over to Istanbul, Turkey A, or however they say it now, they had to get in another line and get the connecting flight straightened out. And of course, there was people there for that. And they got that straightened out, and then they finally made it over there. And they've been having a pretty good time since then, I think. So, yeah. My problem is my wife calls me at 6:30 in the morning because it's oh, what time is it? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon there, and so she's telling me how her day went, and then she goes to bed while I'm awake during the day, and then about 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, then she calls me because she's just now getting up and tells me we talk for a while, and that's kind of nice. I enjoy type driving. I'm hoping that they both have a lot of fun and everything. I think tomorrow, which will still be today here, I think they're going to, I can't remember. It starts with a C. Yeah. But I think it's a 2-day thing or something. They've got out and they had mud baths and saw sea turtles and did all kinds of fun stuff the last couple of days. So, and it's kind of, I miss her. I miss her company, and I kind of miss her help. I'm sure the kids miss her because all of a sudden dad's making dinner and stuff. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. I will. Oh well, Tuesday. My son is part of a motorcycle club called GTS, which stands for Gone Too Soon, and they help raise money and help people who have lost a young child, or a young child who has lost a parent or parents. Help get them counseling and pay for stuff for them and everything. So, well, interruption. My son called me and stopped my video. I already forgot where I was. Oh, anyway, my oldest son belongs to the motorcycle club, and of course they have patches, and he has a leather vest, and he wanted me to sew the patches onto his vest. So, well, I can try. And I didn't get the patches until Tuesday, I think. And I had white thread. I didn't have any black thread. And of course, his patches are black. So, and his vest was leather. And I thought I had some leather needles, but I didn't. So I had to go to Joann's. I had one of my younger sons take me to Joann's, Moses Lake, and I bought some black upholstery thread and some leather needles, and I didn't know how I was going to do the patches on the pockets because I can't get, the sewing machine's not going to sew those, and I couldn't get my hand in there with a needle to sew them. And so I had watched a YouTube video where a fellow was using glue to put patches on his vest. So I said, well, I can see if there's any leather glue. So I checked Joanne's app and it said they had some leather glue um, in the store. So I said, okay. So of course I got everything I wanted, but of course they didn't have any leather glue. They sold the last one that very day. So they said to try Walmart, and if that didn't work, to try one of the feed stores. And I said, okay. So went to Walmart, and they didn't have anything like that. And so I went to North 40, which is a Western feed store kind of place, and they did have some. So it was for leather and cloth and different stuff. So I said, okay, I'll try that. So I got home and I decided to try. My son, when he had dropped off the vest and the patches, he went and pinned them where he wanted them. And there was one that's up above the pocket on the left side, the flag. There's a flag patch that goes there, and the needle would not go through the pin to just pin it on there, and you could feel it coming and hitting the liner, but it wouldn't come through the liner, and the pin, and we wound up bending the pin. And that was a couple times we tried that. We finally just kind of stuck it on there and through the leather, and just kind of said, forget it. And I just remembered where it was supposed to go. And of course, by the time I got around to, I decided to start with the flag for some reason, because I had forgotten how hard it was to get the needle through. And I almost ruined my sewing machine trying to sew that flag on. I got about that far, half an inch. And I said, I'm not gonna sew anymore on this because I don't want to break my machine. I had to rethread. I don't know. It was kind of a mess. I had to take it apart a couple of times just on that one part. So I said, well, I'll do the big patch on the back. So I got that, and this is the first time I've sewn anything that stiff and that size on my sewing machine. Usually I've just done, quilt squares or little tears and dog toys and jeans and stuff like that. So, but this I had to maneuver and finally get it under the foot, and that went pretty easily, going around the big patch. And so that was sewed on there, and then I decided I had enough that night. And so I laid the vest out on my table and did the glue for the two patches that go on the pocket. And I also, no, I didn't do the glue on the flag yet, but I did the patches to see if it would work all right, and put some paper down on top of the patches. Then I had two irons, and I put the irons on top of the patches just to kind of add some weight to it. And it came out the next day, and the patches were attached on there really well. I was kind of surprised, and so I decided to. There's a patch that goes on the flap of the pocket, and so I didn't think the glue would work on that one, and I didn't know if I'd be able to sew it, but I decided to try. So I got the sewing machine maneuvered around, and I sewed across the top and did some zaps down the side, or down in the middle and on the sides, and a little bit across the bottom, and that held it on pretty good. And then I just glued the flag down the rest of the way, and put an iron on top of that, and that was ready on, and that worked really well. So everything was fine when Jacob picked it up on Thursday, and he wore it around a little bit, and everything seemed to be holding. So then he took me out to lunch at the Odessa golf course for lunch for putting his patches on. I said I think the guy at the leather store or something in town had wanted $60 to put his patches on, and only 5 patches. So, good grief. So I guess I was cheaper than that fellow. But that was fun. And then I got to use my sewing machine. I've gotten pretty good at threading it now. Threading is one of those things that's hard to do for someone who has low vision, and but I was getting pretty good at it. So I still have to use my magnifier that sits on my head, and has the thing. And then I also have to use my handheld magnifier along with that one to even be able to kind of guess where the hole is in the needle. But anyway, I get it done. And then yesterday, my friends from work, she's a quilter and does a little bit of everything. Her name is Kathy. She collects sewing machines, and she's just a wealth of knowledge, and does a lot of quilting. Anyway, I have you've seen my serger if you've watched the last episode, but I didn't know how to thread it, and I had a hard time seeing how to thread it, and so she came over, wanted to see my craft room and stuff, and so she came in and started working on my serger, and she had got it all threaded and got everything going, but it wasn't quite stitching right. It wasn't sewing right, and we were having trouble with the tension on the loop tensions. And so, I don't know, I kind of messed up. I came and tried fiddling with them, and anyway, everything came unthreaded. So, well, at least the needles, I don't know. I have to look at it again, and I'm gonna see if I can thread it this time, and see if I can figure out how she did it, and try again. Watch some more YouTube videos, I guess, and get that figured out. So right now it's kind of sitting there open and waiting for me to get up the nerve to tackle it. I keep looking down because, here, I'll show you. Where is she? There she is. Bubbles has been spending time in here with me since her mommy's gone. She comes out here, and she has a little bed. Here, I'll turn you around, and I'll show you some of the different things I've put up around the craft room, and a couple of new things that I've acquired this week. And yeah, so I'll be right back. I'll turn you around. So there's Bubbles with her little bed and her toys and her bed and her chew stick. She does pretty good out here. She plays and lays in her bed. Sometimes she falls asleep if I stay out here too long. So let's see. Sorry to move so fast here. I hung up my hedgehog picture, and I found that Santa Claus head, and I hung that up. And I added those 2 plates from the old craft room. And let's see. And I bought this. This is a Facebook Marketplace find. I didn't realize that the hoop was going to be that big, but that's all right. I've wanted one of those, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to make it work with a smaller hoop. As you can see, I have another hoop there. That was from the old craft room. And I think I'm going to make this quilt. Sew this together, about that big. I didn't want a big one. I just want to practice hand quilting and see how that goes. I have a 14-inch hoop coming on Monday. I tried to find one at Joann's, but they were all out of the wooden ones, and I wanted a wooden one. So anyway, and let's see. Oh, and these little scissors I just got today. They're, oh, I can't remember. Those expensive, starts with a G. Anyway, they were on Facebook as an advertisement on like 75% off or something, normally $35, and I got them for $13. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. I thought I'd try it and see if it actually, see if it's a real ad. And it turned out it was. They came today. So that was good. I was happy with them. They're for cutting out, you know, really little corners and stuff. And there's my poor serger. And I cleaned out my little rolling cart a little bit. And I don't know if you remember this picture from the old craft room, the Puss in Boots. I felt this was a good place to put this picture. And I think, oh, and then this is wrapping paper. This was in the old craft room too, behind my chair, and I figured it needed to come out here, so when come wrapping presents time, they can clear off the work table and wrap presents. And I think that is all. Let me turn you back around here. Yeah, so I think that's about all I have going on for now. Yeah. You get out, get your craft room and you get it all set up, and then you kind of go, what do I do now? So it's kind of, so I'm just going to start something. I did knit on my big scarf earlier this week, but not enough to show anybody. And so I'm kind of excited about working on that quilt. Now that I got the black thread out of my sewing machine and put the regular quilting needle back in and put my thread back in, and now it sews pretty nice. So I'm excited to get sewing on it. I did have, I don't know whether I showed the sewing machine this video or not, but usually I have that extended table on the sewing machine and for quilting, but it didn't work well for doing that jacket. So I took the table off and put the regular fitting back on there, and I think I'm going to take that off and put the quilting table back on it and for my quilting. So I don't know, do you, for you quilters out there, do you have that expanded quilting set up on your sewing machine? Do you like it? I haven't tried quilting without one, so I don't know whether it makes a difference or not. So I don't know if you have any comments about that, you know, leave one below. Yeah, so I'm kind of, oh, and back here in the corner, my son-in-law is coming tomorrow to help me do some stuff in the house, and we're going to put shelves up there in the corner there. Oh, and look, I have bins down there already full of fabric and stuff. Yeah, but at least they're kind of in a neat order. And I have another bin of yarn that has to come out here, and that'll be back in the corner where the knitting machine is, because that's where that'll be used. All my good yarn and stuff is back here in the dresser. Yeah, so hopefully next Friday I'll show you the shelves, and I should have books on the shelves and other stuff, I hope. So we'll see. I think Nancy Drew's going to go up on those shelves. Yeah. I think that'll be it for now. Oh, I don't know if anyone's watched all the way to the end of my last video, and it might even be the one before that as well. But there's some bonus footage after I say goodbye. So you might, if you're interested in that, starring Bubbles, you might, and it's just, you know, less than a minute, 30 seconds or something like that. If you want to see those, then stop in there. Might be some footage at the end of this video. You'll have to check it out. I think I might throw a little bit in the front of this video too. So, but Bubbles in front, in the beginning and end. So anyway, well, I hope everyone has a good weekend. Have a good week. You know, let me know what you're up to. Like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. And comment. Look forward to hearing from you. And thank you for taking your time and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough for watching. I still have 83 subscribers. I'm hoping eventually we'll get to 100. That'd be nice. I don't know how anyone gets to 1,000. I must be doing something totally wrong, or my videos just suck. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great weekend and a great week, and I'll see y'all next Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.